And we're here. Welcome to the Gore Tournament Series, a round robin reveal. I'm Jollster 23. I'm here with Lance Chesticles. It's gonna be a fun day. What's going on, man?
Greetings and salutations to the entire predecessor nation. How you doing today, Jollster?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Pretty excited for what we have in store today. Going to be going through a few things early on. Going to talk about the rules, how the group play is going to work, and well, how we're going to figure out seeding going into the main event. And of course, the big part that everyone's excited for, the team reveals. I'm super excited to see that.
I cannot wait to see these groupings. I have been awaiting this. I didn't get privy to any of this information. You guys kept it behind the scenes for me. I can't wait to see what sort of matchups we're going to get in these round robins and what sort of action we're going to be able to bring to you guys.
Oh yeah, super excited about it. Really going to enjoy it, and I feel like we should just jump right in. Go ahead and jump into the rules as we switch over to look at it. And pretty simple here. Going to have the previous tourney rules will apply, which means a lot of things like, you know, the main stream for players. The main Agora Tournament Series stream will be the only stream you're allowed to watch. Please don't join into other people's streams. This is to protect you from accusations of cheating and, well, any attempts at toxic behavior. We just don't stand for that around here. Roster changes will be February 16th. And team logos are not required for this event, but this is something we're going to push for in the future. Just looks better. Helps you with the branding out. So it'll be pretty nice.
As always, play honestly, respectfully, and don't give up in these tournaments. We want everybody to fight to the end.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just part of good sportsmanship, and it's all about the entertainment. It's all about the competition and helping these players do what they came here to do. You know, they want to make a name for themselves. This is how you do it. So I'm pretty excited about that. And as we move into the group play and how it works, it's kind of a unique thing. It's our first time trying something like this, but I figured it'd be a great way to get more teams involved and give us the best competition possible in the main event. I was like, you know what? Let's do a group play. Let's have some round robin. Try something a little bit different than like a traditional elimination type of bracket. So as we move on into that, showing people exactly how we determine this, give you a little bit of a visual. As you can see here, we had 16 teams that signed up for this. They're being broken up into 4 groups of 4. They're all going to end up playing each other, so each team's going to get about 3 games in, and all of these are best of ones. In the event of a tiebreaker, we have head-to-head record, which should work. If head-to-head isn't available for that, then we will go by who won a game in the fastest amount of time on average. So pretty good there. I don't know if you have any extra comments that you would like to put in on that.
Pretty much, there's not a real chance that we're going to get to the point that we've got 2 teams that tie and then also have an average time of win. But in the event of that, we will just have one final head-to-head matchup as well. But we are expecting these to potentially come into play because we've got some really even teams and a lot of skill dispersed around this entire round robin and group play and section.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it can lead to a little bit better. These are best of one, so you're going to get the best out of every single team. Might be a little bit more calculated, and well, a big part, it's not even in the slide. We're adding bans to the Agora Tournament Series. Each team's going to have a single ban, and that could play a huge role in this of having to adjust. Teams have already been notified, so they do know, and they've been scrimming and practicing that. So I'll be curious to see like who's held more important in the bans, and if it's going to be more targeted or if it's going to be based on the heroes.
Another important thing, since we're also talking about a little bit of the changes that we may not have had super public announcements on, we will not be allowing Shinbi in this tournament for February. Just not super great for competitive play to have the new champions immediately jumping into the competitive pool. So if she is out by the 25th, which we are all expecting, she will not be in any of these tournaments for this month.
Yes, definitely. I mean, 4 days is not enough between the main event. She wouldn't be available for group play anyways. But yeah, I mean, 4 days isn't enough. You just got to get players time and think about the competitive nature of things. I think moving forward, it's probably just safe to say that that month's hero probably not going to be available in the tournament just with the current schedule. As we move on, let's go ahead and show people how we're going to do that seeding. How are we going to decide who gets 5th, 6th, or 7th, or even 8th place? Well, after we're done with the group stage, the top team from every single group, Group A and Group C, are going to play against each other. Group B and Group D are going to play against each other. The winners play for 5th and 6th. The losers play for 7th and 8th.
Great way to get those seedings in. Really, some of the only fair ways to do it after they get through these group stages and win their round robins to put them up against each other. The winners group more or less becomes for 5th and 6th, like we said. Losers for 7th and 8th. Just a way to get some of the seeding in, try to get some of those best first matchups that we can in the first round of the tournament on the 25th.
Yes, definitely. And, you know, as much as I would like to do like a smaller, like mini bracket and have all the group winners play each other and everything, we do have to consider the players and the amount of games that they have to play in a row. And, you know, you really have to worry about exhaustion and other things. So doing it this way is still a very fair way of doing it. And it's exciting, you know, because it makes that first set more important if you want a better seed. So, and it's just, it's really good. But that's a breakdown of the seeding, the group play, our rules on everything. Hope you enjoy that part. Now it's about time. We're gonna get into the deep part of it. The reason why everyone's joining in, right? They want to know, who are we playing? Where's my favorite team going to be? Where's my favorite player going to be starting out in this group play? And well, let's go ahead and start off with Group A. And I mean, you go ahead and look at it right now. We have Two Shot Robot, Bad Timing, Nemesis.exe, and Rat Christ Gaming. There's some new names here, some new teams we haven't seen before.
I do think this is a really interesting pairing here. It does look, from what I'm seeing, that right off the bat, I would probably assume that Bad Timing might be the favorite out of this group. They've just got a lot of former pros on it. A lot of really good players are on Bad Timing. They did win the first Law Lobby tournament as well. But as I am seeing this, I think Rat Christ Gaming might be my favorite esports organization name I have ever heard of. I will definitely be pulling for them to make some upsets and make some noise in this.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, I've heard some mummers about them. They're a team that really likes to play fast. It's a very risky style of play, so it could be pretty entertaining to see from the get-go. You know, and Nemesis was in our first tournament that we did. They're a team that can really work it. But yeah, I can probably agree Bad Timing's probably the favorite going into this. But I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, we have two new teams we really don't know a whole lot about. There could be some surprises in here. And especially with it being best of one, you don't have that extra game to lean on in like a best of three. So you got to get it done in one game, and anything can happen when it's just one game.
All right. When do we get to see Group B then, Jollster?
Oh,
I'm excited to just see all of them.
Oh yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I think every single one of these groups is actually matched up pretty well. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into Group B. Group B, we got Zetchin, we got Phoenix, we got Team Immune, and we got Numpty Bogart, which is probably one of the more creative names I've ever seen. But yeah, I mean, these are also some pretty good teams. Zetchin actually has Defenses on it, who, you know, if you watch our last tournament, is the solo laner that is one of the current champions of Agora. So going to be really nice to see that. Team Immune being the top team from the EU, they just won for the core. They got a lot of good, probably some of the top players in the EU are on this team.
That really does feel like a super team of European players. I have watched Empty on his stream a lot. He's their mid laner. He's a very, very highly skilled player. He's always doing things that I just didn't even know were possible on some of the characters. It does really feel like they are a super team, but there's a lot of talent on these other teams in here as well. Like you mentioned, Zekken's got Defenses, the defending solo lane champion of the Agora tournament. Numpty Bogart, just a fantastic 10 out of 10 name on that team. I know that they've got a lot of really skilled players on them as well. They've got Joker's fave. I know a lot of people have seen Joker towards the top of the leaderboard. He's a very skilled mid laner. He's hoping to lead them out of this group as well.
Yeah, and it'll be pretty interesting. That's going to be a pretty good group. I'm really curious to see, like, we know Team Immune's talent, but how are they going to handle that latency? All of this will be played on NA servers, so there's going to be a little bit of that latency to deal with. We'll see how it affects them, and also that different style. I mean, the EU usually in most games is always going to be, it's always going to have that different style compared to NA. You know,
I did.
and yeah, I mean, if you pay attention to Twitter, there's already been some talk between NA and EU going on. So I'll be curious to see how that sets up moving forward. And let's go ahead and go into Group C, which, I mean, we talked about this right before. This could be the most exciting group. I mean, you have Slime's Temp, which is they just won a tournament. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, they won the Howie Bowl yesterday with a spicy tuna roll and a bunch of people from the in-house predecessor Discord community.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, a really talented team there. Ouroboros is shaping out to be a really good team as well. You got Z-Axis there, Skill Issue. Like, there are some players from each of these teams. This may be the most wide open group that has talent on
Yes.
top of everything.
Another thing to just shout out, Skill Issue is formerly known as the Blind Bandits. So that is just a little bit of a rebranding, but some familiar names if you've watched any of their games in the past. I also think that this is an incredibly open group. Slime Temps put on a really, really impressive performance yesterday, but I know that all of these other teams have got some really, really phenomenal players on them. I do just want a big shout out, a big shout out to Z-Axis. Their jungler, Sauerkraus, is a childhood friend of mine. Me and that boy won a middle school state champion cross country title together. Big shout out to Sauerkraus.
Oh yeah, got that championship pedigree already. So they're ready to take another one there.
Man knows how to win a title.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it starts at a young age. You start to build up through it, have a lot of fun with it. And I'm ready to get into the last group here. This is going to be another exciting group. We have the Professors, Differential, Northmen, and Flanks per second. This is another talented group. I think we have an obvious leader, but there's at least two other teams here that I could see taking this.
Yeah,
if given an opportunity.
Professors were the runner-up for the first Law Lobby tournament, and they did even beat our current champions, Team TOS, in a best-of-3 series that went to all 3 games. So it was tight between the two of them. But I really do think Differential can give them a run for their money, especially with it being a best-of-1 series. I really think that with the performance they had against Press Tab in the first Agora series, where they took them to 3 games as well, and if they win that 3rd game, they had that clear route to the finals, just like Press Tab did, where we could have potentially seen Differential as a runner-up instead of Press Tab. They're definitely going to be able to give the Professors a run for their money. And then on top of that, Northman here is actually a semi-pro Smite team that is making the changeover in games. They've been playing together for a really long time. That chemistry can't be underrated. They've been in high-pressure tournaments. They've been in high-pressure situations together. They know MOB as well. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, I mean, like you were saying with the Professors, they are this is a team of former Paragon pros. If there's anything they know these heroes. And they've shown a lot of talent there. A little bit of a roster change from when they played in Lob Lolly, but you still got Crazy Fool, you still got Survivor. They're just players on there that really know what's going on. And Differential has that sneaky kind of setup. Like they are a good team. They took a game off of Press Tab in the first tournament. And they were kind of a newer team when they signed up for the first one. So now they've had some time to work together. Really kind of curious to see like how much better they do. And Flakes per Second is it's a newer team that I've heard of, and they could have some, they could shake some things up as well. That's why I'm really curious about some of these teams I don't know as much about, and with the players or just the team itself, and seeing how they do in this group stage.
Which is just another one of those great reasons that we decided to open this tournament up a little bit more and invite these 16 teams into the round robin, so that we have these, teams that maybe people don't necessarily know about, like the Professors and the Bad Timing, but they still have an opportunity to showcase those skills, because there are a lot of really good players at this game, and there's a lot of people at the top of the leaderboards on these rosters and on these teams that we haven't heard of yet that are going to come out here and try to make a name for themselves.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I pay attention to that top 100 leaderboard every single week. And just time and time again, you're seeing at least 50 plus that is in this tournament. I mean, a majority of the leaderboard is in this tournament. You got the top tier players, and that's what excites me. I'm ready to see Gore Tournament Series and these teams get it together and just start really playing and bringing up that competition, because that's what it's about right now. We're at that phase in the game. It's still early access. So this is the opportunity for players to step up and really start establishing themselves like early on.
That's right, Jollster. It's going to be really interesting to see how these play out. By the way, when is this going to play out? When can we catch this action?
Yeah, so it'll be February 19th. We're going to try and do the whole group play in a single day, considering with the teams. And going to start it a little bit early, but we will be streaming a good portion of the group play. So you can see the teams that will be in the main event on February 25th. So start time is kind of tentative right now, but it'll probably be around the afternoon time frame in the Eastern time zone. Everything we run is in EST in the US. So if you're ever looking for that, please make sure you join the Discord as well. And it's the best way to stay in touch with what we have going on. But we also have Twitter. You can follow us at ATSPred, or you can even go to the Gore Tournament Series YouTube and keep track there. We do utilize the community tab to keep people up to date.
Yes, it is all down below where you can see me and Jollster's beautiful faces in our description of what is going on our Twitch. You can also use our code ATS to buy a headshot to get 10% off that. All proceeds go to our tournament. You can wake your brain up with it.
That's right. It's a really good. Actually, gonna be making myself some later when I start jumping into a few of these games. And as we finish up here, since we are in the live stream portion of everything, it's time for a little bit of the Q&A. I'm going to open up the chat here a little bit so I can read it a little bit better. In case somebody has some questions about how we're setting up rules, other aspects of it.
I did see somebody had mentioned that they want to see rosters and know who's on every single team. We will probably make those public after the deadline for their final roster submissions, just because we don't want to post rosters and then have them change a bunch and have you expect a player to be on one team and then he moves, or however that may work. So we will probably reveal the rosters after the deadline to have them finalized for the teams.
Yeah, that's definitely we definitely want to make sure that it's confirmed and we're not saying players are on teams that aren't on teams. I also see Isaac there asking who are the front runners for the tournament. For as far as like the group play right now, we're probably looking at maybe Bad Timing, the Professors, Team Immune could do something out of the EU. Slime's Temp, they're a talented team. There's a lot of talent on that team if they're bringing their full roster in. And there could be some surprises as far as the main tournament. I kind of feel like TOS is still in the mix. Team Faded, I don't think we've seen their full potential yet, but I think they're a team that they have a good enough roster. When they start playing, it's going to surprise some people. But I think this group play might have some teams that we could be seeing in the finals.
I think one of the best parts about it is that there's so much competition. It's so hard to even pick who we think the front runners are going to be. Like you said, it's hard to count TOS out. They are a defending champion. We got to give them that praise and that respect that they deserve for it. But man, do we have a lot of good teams coming up through this group stage. This is going to be the 8 best teams we could possibly put into a tournament is what feels good about it.
Yeah. I also see Blub there asking how many you can have on a roster. So on a single roster as of now, we do 6. You can have your 5 main and a sub. As far as how the subs work, we do allow you to have 1 substitute per match in the best of 3 and the best of 5. As far as these best of 1s, you get 1 per group play. And that's just gives the team a little bit extra strategy. You can also use that as a coaching slot if you want to have a coach there with you. You can use that as well. But yeah, it's a 6-man roster right now. We may allow it to expand in the future, but this just makes it a little bit easier on teams and gives a better setup.
Yeah, this way, no teams are monopolizing talent as well. It gives you
Yeah.
a better opportunity to get the good players spread around and give everybody that opportunity instead of putting everybody on the bench behind just the one true best mid laner or a jungler.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a the game itself is still growing. It's not a super large player base. That's why the main series is staying with 8 teams right now, is to make sure that we have the 8 best teams possible when we're doing our main series.
And we get a celebrity match, dying to see ATS staff versus RTS Ace and the select Ometa staff. Yes, Mumus, I would love if that could happen. I don't necessarily know how soon that'll happen, but as soon as I get a meeting with those guys, I'll let them know it needs to, okay?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely have to pick and choose who on the staff gets to play, because it probably won't be me.
Oh, we need a mid laner, Jollster. What are you
that's
talking
right.
about?
Yeah. Hey man, I'm in the top 2,500, so you better
Hey,
watch
hey,
out.
that's not too bad.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah. But yeah, I mean that'd be definitely be pretty good. That's something we are looking for, at least with the ATS staff, like playing against like a an all-star team, or just one of the tournament winners. That would definitely be fun in the future. We do have a lot planned. We want to keep increasing and also supporting the community. There's going to be some creator events that we're working with as well. And we'll be making announcements for it on Discord, on Twitter, everywhere that we can, to help build the community as well.
Seismic, I see you saying end of the tournament, do an MVP in all roles. We will be assigning an MVP for the tournament, but we are probably going to limit that to one player on the winning team right now, just because we want to be able to give prizes for the MVP as well. So just a little bit more incentive to play better, do the best you can, try to get that MVP award for yourself. The defending MVP of the tournament right now is Sanjay off of TOS.
Oh yeah, and also as far as like concerned with like MVPs as well, we do plan on running polls on YouTube, on Twitter, probably run them in the Twitch chat as well when we're doing the series. Polls on like your MVP, who you expect to win the match. As far as group play, we're gonna be doing polls on YouTube and Twitter for favorites, fan favorites of each group. So that'll also be something important to look at.
Defenses wants to know where the groups are going to be posted, Jollster.
The groups will be posted into Discord, but I'll probably be doing a Medium article as well, breaking it down, and we'll be using some of these same slides so that you can see your group in there.
So if you have not joined our official Discord yet, make sure that you do. Once again, the links for it are in the description down below us on Twitch here. And while you're down there, go ahead, click that follow button, turn those notifications on, maybe subscribe if you feel like it. That way you always get the notification when the action is happening and you can see the highest level of predecessor competition available right now.
Oh yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited to see it because we have added, I cannot wait to show everyone what we've added production-wise to just enhance the tournament even more. And we've come up with better ways. We actually have a new way for teams to do their drafts, which we'll be getting with team captains with. It's a lot easier to track the drafts, and it's also going to help track, win rates of heroes as well as ban rates and pick rates, helping better everything and, give a better conversation.
Everyone loves statistics.
As far as casters, we're obviously Lance is coming back.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah,
be there.
The famous Lance Chesticles. Mycology is going to be coming back with us. Even Wire Angel's probably doing a game early on, from what I understand. That's not confirmed though. We'll see.
Virtual
so
doing
we
it?
have a few virtual. That's right, Virtual Arcade.
Yep.
So we're bringing back that duo of him and Mycology, as well as adding Spooky Mars, who didn't get to make the first tournament, as one of our casters. So we got a good run. We're still looking at more casters as well, and going to try and expand on that. So we have a little bit more, added some analysts in there, people that really can dig deep into the game as well. We have our knowledge, but it never hurts to have more.
Always looking to get smarter,
Yeah.
get better, always improving.
Yeah, and luckily for y'all, I won't be casting any of the games. So I'll just be running the tournament with Telio in the background. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Don't think we see too many more questions going on. And we'll be doing more of this stuff moving forward. Probably going to tailor the show a little bit better, have more of a panel in the future. It's a good little test though, but if you like having a group reveal and seeing where the teams are going, that's something we can do more in the future. Just let us know. And if there's other things content wise you'd like to see from us for the tournament, be more than happy to bring that around for people. And I do appreciate everyone coming out. I know it's kind of a quick thing, but this is Super Bowl Sunday, so got to get ready for that. Can't cut into people's time,
That is right. So if anybody has any last questions, go ahead and throw them down into the chat. We'll get the last of them answered up. And then make sure, once again, you hit those follow buttons, you hit those bells, you hit those subscribes, you join our Discord, you stay up to date, because you're not going to want to miss any of this action.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be... Oof. Telling you, I'm excited with these groups and these teams that we have, and there's still more teams in the future that we're hoping that we can get added into there. There's still some big players out there that haven't been featured yet in the Agora tournament series, so hopefully in the future we can expand the group play a little bit more, seeing how this one goes.
Talking to you and Seismic down there in the chat, we see you.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll see, but
all right, last chance for questions, guys. Get them in here.
Yeah, I guess I could switch back to the cams instead of just having people stare at some random screen. There are humans here, I swear.
Whatever works best for you, Jollster.
Yeah.
I don't question your decisions.
Yeah, we're working on AI streams, actually.
ATS merch when? Jollster, go ahead.
Yeah, that is something we are planning. We may have to do probably like a print on demand style to start with, but it'll be a lot easier. Gonna come up with a few ideas, got some things brewing in my head. We're gonna get with our awesome graphic designers that designed all the slides. We're building a pretty good team on that side, so we're definitely gonna try and come out with some shirts and probably hats, mugs. You never know. Try and really build that merch so you can represent the tournament, or even work with some of the teams and help them get some merch out there as well, so you can rep your favorite team.
6, my favorite player currently is F6, I think, followed by Mumus, and then Sauerkraus.
Second up to F6 there, I see that.
And then, let's see, the rules for tiebreakers and groups. So it's going to start with head-to-head results. So if both teams get like 2 wins and 1 loss, if one of those teams in that tiebreaker has the head-to-head win, they're going to be the one that advances. And if it isn't that, it's going to be fastest time to victory on average for their wins that they got. And then if that somehow still gets them to the same spot, we're just going to do a death match between the 2 of them, and the winner's going to take it all.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly how it's going to work. We're also seeing questions here for, I guess we can knock both of these out at the same time. They're not really the same thing, but we have asking about amateur bracket and then rules on draft and mirror matches. So as far as amateur bracket, we are working on doing like a pickup game tournament. We're also, like I said, working with some content creators. So we may be helping them set up tournaments for like communities, stuff like that, that can really help build. And we will be separating as the tournament series grows. We will be separating and doing more of a minor league type of play. And if there's any console players out there watching right now, when y'all come around and join the fun or predecessor, we're already planning on working on something there. Like that's an obvious take. We're gonna have to do a console league, but it will be separate. I feel like it's just better that way in esports. Gives a little bit better competition on the console side, and PC as well. As far as rules on the draft and mirror matches, it is 1 ban per team, and then there are no mirror matches in the tournament at all. I feel like this just drives for better competition, more experienced ways of doing things. It creates more excitement, more fun, and I think players enjoy it a lot more as well. Like, we actually decided to do the bans because players asked for it, and they felt like it's a good time to do it.
Another thing, we are going to flip a coin to see if a team wants to pick first or a team wants to pick second, depending on what they think the best strategy is. But the only fair way to choose who gets to make that decision is the coin flip.
Exactly, yeah. For as far as group play is concerned, it's definitely a way that we want to do it. And then when we get into the tournament, the higher seed will have first pick. So when you're doing best of 3s, best of 5s, that's going to be first game is going to be the highest seed, and then after that, the loser gets the choice of taking the first pick. And when custom matchmaking becomes a little bit easier, where we can actually select sides, then you can choose first pick or side of the map. So, well, actually, it probably would be the same thing, but it's different aspects to it. But yeah, as far as the bands will be right before the picks are done. So first pick will do the first band, second pick does the second band, and then it goes into the normal draft order. And that should work out pretty well. I'm actually really curious. I'm really curious to see if teams feel more comfortable doing targeted bans towards other players, forcing them deeper into their hero pool, or if it's one of those where they think heroes are a little strong and they're going to focus on keeping that hero out. So, I'm just waiting to see. There's just too much excitement. It's just another week away. I just can't hold on.
That does seem to be all of the questions that we've got in the chat so far. We do want to just take a second, make sure we thank everybody for coming out, tuning in, getting these results. This video should be available on YouTube today, maybe tomorrow, hopefully soon. I will give you a hard soon on when this video will be available for YouTube for anybody that missed it, so that they're able to see the group reveals, maybe get a little bit of insight, a little bit of scouting in for their teams. We just want to make sure, once again, thank you guys for all your support. We wouldn't be able to do it without you guys, the viewers, the players, everybody that's coming together for it. So just a big shout out to the whole predecessor community. Thank you guys.
Oh, most definitely. This is way bigger than I ever expected when we first got together and created this. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to the casters that come on board, like Lance, and thank you to the players. Thank you for everyone that's come in, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds. And next Sunday, when the group play starts, I can't wait to see who we're going to have in our new main event, and who may be the next crowned champions of Agora.
We'll see you there.